Amazing moments happen so much at SiriusXM, we want you to see them. SiriusXM Video lets you watch your favorite SiriusXM shows on the SiriusXM app. Groundbreaking interviews, amazing in-show moments, behind-the-scenes footage, live performances, all come to life in a way you only imagined before. Plus, you can create your own personalized Pandora station based on the artists you love. And hear over 100 extra channels filled with ad-free music for every mood or occasion. Get your first 6 months of our Platinum plan for only $8.33 per month, plus fees and taxes. Just call 844-711-8800 to take advantage of this amazing offer.
Carrie Underwood brings you a brand new way to work out. Just in time for your New Year's resolution. It's not just cardio, it's cardio.
A playlist that gets you ready to work out, gets you in the zone. I like stuff that I can either dance to or that I can get mad with.
High energy tracks you can sweat to. Plus, fitness tips from Carrie and her trainer. Cardio by Carrie's Country. Now in the SiriusXM app. Free with all trials and popular plans.
Your business, your money, your life.
Marketing, expanding, and branding.
SiriusXM Business Radio.
SiriusXM Business Radio.
Your business, your money, your life.
Entrepreneurs, CEOs, and investors.
SiriusXM Business Radio.
To hear Business Radio, activate your radio now. Call 844-711-8800 or go to SiriusXM.com/go to sign up quickly.
All my music on my very own channel, the Billy Joel channel.
Billy's incredible storytelling.
Before we're going to go on stage, you need a few minutes to just kind of get yourself set for what's about to happen because it's almost like a carnival ride.
Now for a limited time on Channel 79 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app. Get closer to everything that moves you, wherever you are.
Great things are happening on SiriusXM's Joel Osteen Radio.
Every day, you're blessing my life with these words of strength.
Inspiration 24/7.
God says He always causes you to triumph.
Just to hear you and your words of encouragement really helped me to get through those tough times. I'm so grateful that you're on the radio. I am so blessed by your messages.
To hear Joel Osteen Radio, activate your radio now. Call 844-711-8800 or go to SiriusXM.com/go to sign up quickly. Amazing moments happen so much at SiriusXM, we want you to see them. SiriusXM Video lets you watch your favorite SiriusXM shows on the SiriusXM app. Groundbreaking interviews, amazing in-show moments, behind-the-scenes footage, live performances, all come to life in a way you only imagined before. Plus, you can create your own personalized Pandora station based on the artists you love. And hear over 100 extra channels filled with ad-free music for every mood or occasion. Get your first 6 months of our Platinum plan for only $8.33 per month, plus fees and taxes. Just call 844-711-8800 to take advantage of this amazing offer.
Just because you leave town doesn't mean you should go without your commercial-free music, play-by-play from your favorite teams, or the programs, entertainment, or news you listen to every morning. Get SiriusXM and get the radio you love coast to coast. Call 844-711-8800 or go to SiriusXM.com to activate your radio now.
The 1960s brought us to the moon.
One small step for man.
And on a musical trip. SiriusXM 60s Gold.
I'm picking up good vibrations.
All 60s hits. To hear 60s Gold, activate your radio now. Call 844-711-8800 or go to SiriusXM.com/go to sign up quickly.
There you go now.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, let's see. There you go now.
I think I'm recording.
Oh, let's see.
If you've been thinking about buying a home, you need to be in the zone, the home buying zone. You need a game plan to win in this great real estate market. The Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage has all your bases covered. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, purchasing your dream home, refinancing, consolidating debt, or even considering a reverse mortgage, contact the Big C team at Equity Zone Mortgage today. They have the lowest closing costs and they'll close your loan on time, guaranteed, or they'll pay your first mortgage payment. And they even have a 3.5% purchase down payment grant that can get you into a home with little money out of your pocket. It doesn't get more clutch than that, folks. Score big on the biggest purchase of your life. Call Equity Zone Mortgage today at 1-800-772-8624. That's 1-800-772-8624. Or apply online at equityzonemortgage.com and tell them Big C sent you as heard on the Big C Sports Podcast. License number 01868.
Rondo Deportes, bonjour, veni veni vici. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Jonathan of Big C Sports. This is Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to me and people who love the universe, and that would include you. I want to tell you what a beautiful day in the neighborhood. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Want to be my neighbor? Okay, I've been voted neighborhood watch person. I told you that before, and now people want to be my neighbor. What a beautiful show! Today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers. Home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. You can buy a test drive yours. Tell them to sit up with a good Lord special, if that makes sense to you. And I'm gonna tell you, it was raining in Denver Hills, California. It was thundering and lightning earlier today, but now it's just overcast in Northern California, but we really do appreciate it. I've learned a lot of good things about myself today, and I realized I've been blending my food lately, and so I've been having a chocolate crunch. Chocolate crunch? What's chocolate crunch, BC? It's one of those chocolate candy bars that has a caramel. It has a milk dark chocolate. Has to be milk chocolate, but it's dark chocolate, and it has the nuts inside of it. What kind of nuts, Big C? Dim nuts. Give them nuts a praise. Oh, I love them nuts. My goodness, surrounded by chocolate is amazing. I want to say today is just a beautiful day. I'm kind of giddy today. I learned some things about myself with Big C Sports. But as I get into that, you can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on 29 podcast applications all over the universe. Find us on Google, Alexa, Spotify, Speaker Podcast, Apple Podcast, Good Pods Podcast, TuneIn Podcast, iHeartRadio Podcast, Castbox Podcast, Diesel Podcast, Podcast Addict, Pod Chaser. You can also follow Big C Sports on GeoSavan out of London, England, as well as India and Africa, Podtail, YouTube, Pop Up, Restriction Podcast, Radio Line, Repod Podcast, Luminary Podcast, Listen Notes, Podcast Wise, Podbay, Robo Podcast, Podcast Policy, Podcast Republic. You can also find us on, there's a site that sometimes, I don't know if I should keep mentioning it or not, because the more I talk about it, the more it seems to come true. It's called allfees.ai. That means the robots are taking over. And the robots, I don't know if we want to give them praise, but they're in everything we do. Yesterday I talked about how AAA raised my rates, and they told me that they gave the robot the assignment of calculating my mileage, but they were over by 10,000 miles. And then they told me if I wanted to take a safe driver test, I could also get more savings on my AAA membership. I said, okay, why not take the test? I thought it was going to be like a 10-minute Q&A. The test is 8 hours. 8 hours? Yep, 8 hours. AAA. Say they're the best motor insurance company in the business. So the test is 8 hours. That's a whole day. So I may not take the test, but I may take the test also. But they should say it's a Q&A takes maybe 5 minutes. It's 10 questions. But they told me an 8-hour test. At the same time, you don't need a test to listen to Big C Sports. And I want to say, number one, I always produce the show. Number two, I direct the topics. Number three, I broadcast all the shows. Number four, I do all the sound effects based on the platform provided by the agency. We could all use more laughter in our lives. And then number six, the stats are provided. Number seven, I do the storytelling. Number eight, I do the play-by-play. Number nine, I upload the show that goes out to 29 podcast platforms out of New York City, all over the world. And I'm in Dimner Hills, California. And then number 10, I never missed a show since creating Big C Sports back in the day at Salem Media in 2015. What I'm also proud of, I have a PSA that I announce for every Big C Sports podcast. It's for our veterans because they go through a lot and sometimes they're not acknowledged. But we have a Veterans Crisis Hotline that's nationwide, and they are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. You know, anybody going through issues, pick up the phone, call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255, or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And when you do, you want to give us some praise because we all need somebody to lean on. I know I need somebody to lean on, and it's always nice when somebody's leaning back. That's what I love about doing Big C Sports Podcast. I also want to say thank you to Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe and beyond. I'm telling you, just like in Genesis 1:3, where God said, reparations now, reparations forever. And then he said, let there be light. But God said, let there be light. I got some light shine on me today also. I had a reading done. It was offered, so I took it. And it says that I'm a king of pentacles and an ace. And it also said that getting through some junk in life and also open for love and healing, start writing down what I want to be, I guess, getting over, that I got to learn to forgive. I got to lean on my inner circle called God, angels and family. It says that I love unconditionally and that I have been avoiding junk because I hate junk. And I don't like narcissistic people, which means sometimes I don't even like myself because I can't be narcissistic. But I was told to know my worth, and that it says you are a great person. And I've already felt that for many, many moons. But I was told to know my worth. And remember that you got to know your worth because you can't let people suck out of you. You got to let people give to you, not just suck and suck and suck, if that makes sense. It's nice being sucked on if you're okay with it, but you got to give people permission to suck on you. And I work in the, obviously you can say sports and also the real estate industry, and sometimes people just take and take and take, but you decide who you give your time and energy to. And so I was told that about myself. I didn't even ask, it was just offered. So I want to give that some praise because it seems pretty accurate that I've been getting out of something that was caused a lot of drunk and drama by narcissistic people. And I say, me like this guy. So I want to give that praise. That was a good reading. But I also want to say, everybody can get your reading, whatever works for you. Trust what's in your heart, mind, body, and soul. And I want to make sure that I stay connected with people all over the universe when it comes to sports. Today's a little bit different show, as most days are different shows with Big C Sports. But as I say with Big C Sports, I love what I do. I thank God. I'm so grateful for what I'm able to do in life. Of course, I want to be a billionaire too. Remember that song? Every time I close my eyes, a different city every night. Oh, I swear, the world better prepare when I'm a billionaire. Okay, people want to be a billionaire. But what I also heard, and I was told, make sure your soul is right. Because when we pass on, we have our soul, our memories, and that's all we can take with us to the next horizon that God creates for us. Sometimes we work so hard to build up money. We work so hard to create relationships that are mutually beneficial. And we work so hard to create success in the workforce. And when we pass away, we can't take none of that with us. All we can take is our soul. And if you're happy in life, that's the most important thing. And I love what I do with Big C Sports. Of course, I want to be a billionaire. But I can tell you without equivocation that God has allowed me to do what makes my heart, mind, body, and soul happy. And for that, I want to give God some praise. Because more and more is coming, and I can feel it. I've been prophesied over. Almost every time I've been prophesied over has happened. But no matter what God allows me to accumulate, I can't take none of it with me when I'm gone. So what I want to do is be empathic enough to try to be an open book for people, to be someone that can to extend an olive branch, to open up doors for people, because it's been open for me. Almost everything in my life I got without having to put forward a resume. When I got in the broadcast, I didn't hand out a resume. I got offered I won't say I was offered the opportunity, but I guess I was offered the opportunity. I asked to do an all-star game. I knew what I'm doing. I've been doing play-by-play for a long time. And I was given that chance to do an all-star football game down in Southern California. It was California All-Stars versus Texas All-Stars. And, of course, for my Texas friends, California won. They said, you Texans all sound a little bit taller on the radio. So the California Texans won. And I did some spotting with a broadcaster by the name of Tom Kelly. He was a great legend of a broadcaster at University of Southern California. And I remember when he said to me, he said, you do a good job, my man. What do you want to do? I said, I want to do what you're doing. I want to get into broadcasting. He said, okay. And that was all he asked. And then that was on a Saturday night. It was at Cal State Fullerton. On Tuesday, I got a call from Fox Sports. It was Mike Roig. And he said, hi, is this Charles? And I said, yes. He said, hi, this is Mike Roig. I'm the broadcast associate for Fox Sports with John Madden and Pat Summerall. I said, well, how can I help you? He said, would you like to work the game with the 49ers and the Chargers on Thursday night at Candlestick Park? And I said, yes. He said, okay, report to media, will call, and you'll have your tickets there. And he said, report to Fran Morrison. So I reported to Fran Morrison, and from there, I wasn't expecting they were going to put me in the broadcast booth with John Madden. It was in the broadcast truck. And after a couple of tries there, they saw I knew what I was doing, so they promoted me to the broadcast booth whenever they would come to San Francisco. And then I would sit about 10 feet away from John Madden, the legendary broadcaster John Madden. But I knew what I was doing. And from there, I started doing my own broadcast work, and God has opened more doors. Well, from there, now I have Big C Sports, but John Madden's no longer here. Pat Summerall, he's no longer here. No matter how much money they made, no matter how many awards they won, they're no longer here. And Big C Sports is still standing. And I just give God praise for that, because when I got into the business, I met some wonderful sports agents, some people in the business, and oftentimes they would say, you got the diction, you enunciate well, you know your stuff, but right now we don't have any openings for you. So I just kept doing my thing anyway. And I was talking to someone just the other day about how you get started in broadcast. I said, you just do it. And I just want to pay homage to Lewis Johnson, who does the Olympics for NBC, and he's worked for TNT and other broadcasts. And I remember I met him at an Arizona State Stanford football game down on the farm in Palo Alto, and I asked him, how did he get started in the business? And he told me the same thing. He used to watch television and watch events on television, and he would record himself calling the event. And then he got on an airplane and flew to New York City and met with a sports agent after he had sent enough tapes. And he said, I think we can do something with this. And from there, he got the chance to do broadcast, and he's traveled all over the world. And I think about that the same thing, because my first Super Bowl, I was in the truck. It was NBC Sports. It was David Gibson, the broadcast producer, and I think it was Dick Enberg's crew. And we were in Oakland. And I said just what this psychic just told me a few hours ago. I said, I'm going to ask if I can work the Super Bowl in San Diego with the Broncos and the Packers. And I tell you, I took a deep breath to ask, and he turned around and he said, you do a good job, my man. I want to put in a word for you to work the Super Bowl. I didn't even ask. I thought about it in my mind, but the words had not come out of my mouth yet. But I said, I'm going to ask if I could be a Chiron assist at the Super Bowl in San Diego. Before I even uttered the words, I guess God had him speak for me. And he turned around and said, you do a good job, my man. I'm going to put in a word for you to work the Super Bowl. There were only 3 Chiron assistants that they flew in from all around the country. There's 32 NFL cities, and each one they have their broadcast people. This guy's out of New York City. And I was in Oakland at the time. It was an Oakland Raiders game. And that's when he said, you do a good job, my man. I'm going to put in a word for you to work the Super Bowl. He put in a word. I didn't send in a resume. God did it. And that's what I'm doing with Big C Sports. I'm going to become $1 billion company. I already know that. I'm going to mix sports and real estate. That's already happening. And I'm going to create over $1 billion. And I already know it. I have the game plan written down. And it happened just like I got invited to work the Super Bowl. NBC Sports flew me down. In fact, they had when I landed in San Diego at the International Airport, they had a sign that said NBC Sports. It was for me. And they had me shuttle over to the stadium. It was Qualcomm Stadium at that time. They've torn it down now. All of that happened by my praise to God, though. I'm saying that to young people that are asking me, how you get started in broadcast? How you on so many platforms? I had someone tell me today, I was listening to your show. I love your show. You're on so many platforms. And God did it. I didn't do it. God did it. Because sometime it's like my grandmother told me when I was 8 years old. She said, there's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak. I just got told that again today as well as yesterday. I've gotten that compliment since I was about 8 years old. There's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak. And I'm asking God again, I'm going to become $1 billion corporation with Big C Sports through sports and real estate. I already know that without any equivocation. I'm more sure about this than I was about being flown to the Super Bowl. And that was offered to me. All I did was ask God. I didn't ask man. I didn't ask no woman. I didn't ask no man. I'm just asking God, my Heavenly Father. And I'm learning how there's something in the DNA, and there was a gland. The ancient thinkers used to say there's a gland in the brain called the pineal gland. And ancients call it the third eye. They call it the third eye. It says how you talk to God. You don't talk to God with a resume. You can't call God on your cell phone. But what I did is I've been visualizing what I want to happen in my life. And I've been visualizing that Big C Sports will be heard all over the world. Well, that's already happened. I've had sports where people from the Olympic Village, when they were in Japan, called in to talk to Big C Sports. I've had guests call in from Africa to talk to Big C Sports. I've had guests call in from Australia to talk to Big C Sports. I've had guests call in from New York City, from Rhode Island, from Florida, Texas, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Georgia, Chicago, all in between. And all I did was ask God for the opportunity. And I see it more now than I've ever seen it in my life. But this psychic told me today, she said, you're a king of pentacles. And I looked that up. And she said, you work on all 4 quadrants. You're very gifted and talented. You're an excellent manifester. She said, you have all 4 quadrants working for you. I've felt this before. And I think most people have. At times you wonder, how did God manifest things for you? Well, mine happens when I do intense prayer and intense praise, and I mix it with extreme emotion. Extreme emotion. Like lighting a match. It has to strike. It's like lightning striking. Lightning has extreme emotion. Why am I saying this? I'm saying because someone was asking me how you get into broadcast and how do you get a show and how you're on so many platforms. God did it. And I'm going to make Big C Sports $1 billion corporation. I already know that. I have the plans written down. It should have already happened, but it happens in God's timing. And it's not about me. The more people I can help, the more God's going to help me. God, I think Jesus said, if you love me, feed my sheep. And for all the land that thou seest will I give you. That's in the good book. Matthew 7:7 said, ask ye shall receive, seek ye shall find, and knock and it shall be opened unto you. But I heard something on a TV show that oftentimes I've been able to accomplish things that I didn't even know I was accomplishing it because I'm always looking for something bigger. At every one in your life right now, everything you have in your life at this time, at one time it was just a thought. Thoughts come first and then the things appear. And there's something about tuning your radio station into a fine-tuned station where sometimes if you have a radio station, it's kind of, if it's on a dollar, you kind of got to roll the knob back and forth until the station locks in and clear. It's not like the analog where you just press a button and you program the station and it's always there. The old ones, you have to kind of roll it back and you have to massage it into the right place. You ever have a massage and someone's rubbing the massage real good and someone says, hey, a little bit lower, oh, right there. Oop, there it is. There you go, right there. Right there, right there, right there. Like a massage. If you've had a massage and someone hits the spot, it's like, oop, there it is. I think they wrote a song about it. Oop, there it is. Went to school with DC. But at the same time, I just feel sometimes I got to learn to balance myself, because my favor comes from God. It doesn't come from people. People can turn on you, my goodness, so they can smile at you one minute, and the next minute, may lightning strike. They can turn against you. I've seen that, and I'm so tired of those kind of people. Run away from drama. Don't let anyone suck life out of you unless you ask them to, if that makes sense to you. It's okay to be sucked on if you ask to be sucked on, but not when someone shows up like a locust and they just want to suck. You gotta run from people when they suck your energy. I'm saying this because I'm talking to myself. There's so many great things happening in my life right now. I just want to give God the praise. Not everything's good. There's shenanigans that's been created by people. Some people are so miserable, they want you to be miserable too. So they'll create junk in your life. I don't know anybody who sits on the toilet and just wants to smell it when it stinks. When it stinks so much, flush it! Don't just sit there and smell it. If it's your own stink, you might get used to it. Well, don't bother you. It's your own stink. You get used to your own stink. But you let somebody come out of the bathroom, especially in a public restroom, and it's not your stink, you walk in, you about fall down to your knees because the smell is so bad. But if you stay in that bathroom long enough, you know you get used to that stink. The stink won't be as bad as it was when you first smelled it. Well, people are the same. When you let the wrong people into your life and they start smelling up your life and making your life suck, let them go. That's a message to myself also. Because life is supposed to be glorious and enjoyable. Don't let people come in and stink up your life. If you do something wrong, apologize. But when people come around trying to suck life out of you like a locust, stay alive. Help yourself. That's a message I want to give, because I was prophesied on today. It's about letting go of junk that doesn't make you feel good. Sometimes you hear a person's voice, it's like, oh, not that person. God's talking to you. And everybody understands that. Don't let anyone drain you. A fire can keep you warm or it can burn you up. Sometimes people are fire, they want to keep you warm. Sometimes they're fire and they want to burn you up. You got to decipher the difference. Anyway, I just want to give God some praise. That's my story and I'm sticking with it. And I want to thank the reading that I got today. It was unexpected, but my goodness. When someone says, God told me to talk to you, like for what? About what? So I listen, and when someone can tell you something about yourself that you haven't told nobody, that's like God's talking to you. God works through people. And I'm so grateful to God that I got to center myself even more. But I'm just so grateful. I'm super grateful. I want to say I thank God for Big C Sports Podcast. I love giving praise to the Reparations Task Force because I'm part of that. I had a friend call me today and ask if I want to do a protest in the MLK March. And I don't want to do a protest. Protest for what? I can't tell grown people what to do, but I don't want to protest. I want to be peaceful in life. I want to use, if you're going to change something in court, it's not by emotion in court. The court is only changed by what you submit to the court. You got to submit documentation. They put it in PACER, and then the judge can read it. That's how laws get changed through executive order. And that's why with reparations, asking President Biden, I know he's going around to the black churches now because they want to ask for the black vote again. But if he's not talking about reparations, he may as well not go. They're talking about the Republicans, Nikki Haley and Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, trying to say slavery was fought over an economic reason. It wasn't based on economic. It was fought to end slavery. Now, in the South's mind, they were saying, well, we don't want to work. Let's let those black people do it. Look at all the free labor we get from these black bodies. So we don't want to end that. They had it good. They could lay up in bed all day, let the slaves do all the work, and make all the profit. When they wanted something different than their wives, they go down to the slave barn and get all the black women they could get with impunity, raping them. Who would want to give that up if you're a person that's so evil? Slavery was so evil that even God hated it. That's why the South lost the war, because God hated what they were doing. I wish God would have let them happen to him what they were doing to the slaves. Letting their families be raped and murdered and lynched and set fire and castrated and sold off. And then to have a president go to a black church and say, they got it wrong about slavery. No, you got it wrong if you don't talk about reparations. Any white person that says they don't believe in reparations, you tacitly consent to all the lynchings and the murders and the rapes and the selling off of children, and you say, oh, that was a long time ago. You walking around breathing a day because of what your parents did a long time ago. Slavery is so serious, and reparations even more serious, that how dare people walk around and act like you're so intelligently vapid you can't see the signs. I'm not going to talk about reparations, but I'm gonna ask you for your vote. Vote for what? You got the executive order in your pen. The same hand that signed the crime bill, it can sign the reparations bill. And this one you could feel good about. Signing the crime bill to incarcerate mass incarceration of black men when you have your own son going through his criminal process and you're doing everything you can to help him. Those black families, they couldn't help their children when the law enforcement swooped in and gathered up black men and black women for doing the same thing white people were doing. When I went to college, most of the white people I knew did drugs, all of them. 9 out of 10 of them. Not one of them got arrested for it. Not one of them got racially profiled for it. They did it with impunity. And it's probably still doing it to this day. They don't have those stories of having their fathers pulled out of the house, their mothers pulled out of the house, beaten, taken off in the middle of the night by law enforcement for selling illegal substances. Many of them do it to this day. In fact, many of the people that have these cannabis operations, they're Caucasian. The state gives them a license easier. And they know it's true. But it's the black kids that got their lives ripped up and put in incarceration, mass incarceration in these privatized prisons. Well, President Biden, you signed the crime bill. Make sure you talk about that when you talk about Donald Trump and Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis saying that slavery was not fought to end, that the Civil War was not fought to end slavery. And they're trying to say it was about economics. It was economics. White people didn't want to work. You could rape someone with impunity. The black slave, they didn't have the Me Too movement. When the white ladies were going through their garbage, what Hollywood called the Me Too movement, and all the TV people were talking about it. We got to get some money for these women who claim they were assaulted 20 years ago. What happened for black women? The white women, they wanted some money when they got assaulted 20 years ago, allegedly. And the court system paid them. Even put men in prison. Who's paid the price for all the destruction of black lives from 1619 to 1865? And then you still have people say, oh, we don't believe in no reparations. That was a long time ago. It's always pushed to the side when it's been black bodies. Beautiful, intelligent black bodies. All life came from Africa. So I told you this. I'm going to get into the sports too, because I know some of you don't want to do anything other than see touchdown, home run, 3-point play. Old man Willie, he's going all the way. I told you last year they're going to start asking for the black vote again. And you're going to have people stomping for a man or a woman that refuses to say that we deserve, as people of color, descendants of chattel slavery, to get reparations. The same way our Jewish brethren, descendants of Holocaust, got reparations. Our Japanese Americans, and they were interned in internment camps. They got reparations. Why are they wanting to do it for black Americans? Why not? Do you think we're that dumb you could just come to a church and talk about slavery without talking about reparations? And you're going to have us vote for you? I know some people will, because they just want you to say, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? The white ladies from the Me Too movement, they didn't ask for your apology. They asked for money! Not one of them sued for an apology. All the Hollywood casting couches, they didn't ask for an apology. They asked the court for money. They did not ask for an apology. They asked the court for money. They did not ask the court for an apology. They asked the court for money, and the courts gave it to them. But when it comes to black Americans, we want to issue a national apology. President, you can do better. You can do better. Because the same black people that put you in office, if they don't show up in droves this time, you're not going to get reelected. I mean, that has to be so simple to understand, even a 2-year-old can understand it. When a 2-year-old's hungry, it says they put their hands up and say, they call help, hungry, I'm hungry. They say, I'm hungry. They don't just stare at you. They say, I'm hungry. If you're hungry for the vote, give reparations a chance. The same way you signed the crime bill that destroyed black families. And now you go into the black churches and you give a speech about what? You gave President Zelensky $100 billion. You didn't give him a speech. You did not give him a speech. And he came back and tried to get another $110 billion after you gave him some airplanes. And Congress fought it. You gave him $200 million. You didn't take $200 million to that black church down in Carolina that you were speaking at. Why? What is it about black Americans that you don't want to get money to? But you give it to white Europeans. Even the Homestead Act 1862, they gave white people in the United States over 276 million acres of land, which is worth money. Well, hold on, Big C, get your facts right. They also gave white Europeans. That's right, they gave white Europeans money to the land. What they give black Americans? Nothing. Same thing they got to that church president went down and spoke in. They gave them nothing, but they got applause for what? What are you applauding? You're going to applaud someone that says, we're not going to pay you reparations, but we're going to give some white man from the Ukraine $100 billion. And you standing up cheering. Yeah, you standing up cheering. That's insulting. I thought you were going to announce reparations at the black church. I'm a little got egg on my face. And that's okay. Because I thought you were going to go to the black church to say we're going to do what President Abraham Lincoln talked about doing. I'm going to sign reparations as executive order and give you guys money the same way I gave President Zelensky some money. But he didn't do it. So I got egg on my face. I want to thank the California Reparations Task Force because a mind is a terrible thing to waste, and so is a vote. No reparations, no vote. That's what I'm hearing. I mean, some of the people in the South, you ain't got to give them nothing. They'll just clap for anything. How do you dare go to a church, a black church, after you just gave a white foreigner $100 billion? And you're going to talk about slavery. Trump has it wrong. Haley has it wrong. DeSantis has it wrong. The Civil War was fought to end slavery. They said it was about economics. Just treat it. If we look like if that black church looked like President Zelensky's, you would have offered them $100 billion. Oh, how you know that, Big C? Because that's what he did. And when the white man came back and wanted another $110 billion, Congress said no. He still gave him $200 million. Did he give the black church $200 million? Did I miss? Did I go to the restroom on that announcement? And people they're just standing up and cheering. For what? I want to thank the California Reparations Task Force because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Camila Moore, the chair, she's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to thank Dr. Amos C. Brown, Vice Chair. I love giving him praise. He's brilliant. I want to thank the #1 Senator of the United States of America, California Senator Stephen Bradford. Hold on to the applause real quick. Hold the applause. Senator Bradford, he's on the California Reparations Task Force. He voted yes. There's 12 bills in front of the state legislature for reparations. It's more than just cash money. And what the man so eloquently said is true. To recreate Freedmen's Bureau, it's Senate Bill 490. California Freedmen's Bureau, trying to recreate that. Lincoln did the first one back in 1865. It was March 3rd, 1865, when they created Freedmen's Bank. And that was money set aside for descendants of chattel slavery. And a board of 50 white trustees, they stole the money! And no matter who you vote for, I'm voting for the person that says they're going to pass reparations. My mind kind of, everything else is kind of, what did Two Live Crew say? He said, my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. That wasn't Two Live Crew, that was R. Kelly, Big C. Okay, but you know what he said. But Senator Stephen Bradford, he passed the Ebony Alert that helps law enforcement put the same resources into finding black children as the Amber Alert puts into finding white children. He did that. He also created name, image, and likeness to help college athletes get paid the same way that white coaches get paid for their talents. And you know who's fighting that? The white coaches. Oh, I don't believe that. A lot of them are trying to say if you sign a contract, you can't leave. You can't leave. You got to stay and honor your contract. But if you're a white coach, you can tear up your contract and leave right away. They're not making them stay to honor their contract. They can take a job that makes several $1 million, get offered a few more million, they leave right away. Go get the new job. They're telling these black athletes, and the white ones too, you can't leave. You got to stay. Yeah, make your money, but you can't leave. You can't have the freedoms that we have. And we got to be past that. But I'm proud of Senator Stephen Bradford creating that for people who have the ability to get paid on name, image, and likeness. That's important. He's also part of the California Reparations Task Force. Why can't you go and stand in his precinct, the 35th precinct in California, and talk about reparations? This man is pro-reparations. Where are the black people standing up to support him? He's saying, show me the money. And free land like you did to white people in 1862. Free housing like you did for the GI Bill when white soldiers came home from World War II. Like you rebuilt Germany after the war. Now people go to Europe on vacation. When have they rebuilt the black society, black community? To me, it's a simple thing. No matter who's running for president, if you stand next to Senator Stephen Bradford, you're most likely to get elected. Don't run from him because he's put reparations in writing. You ever put something in writing? And I just left his office last week. Gonna meet with him soon. Already met with him. Gonna meet with him again. That's who you should be standing behind. He's not shucking and jiving. He's not going to the Golden Globes talking about how many white people got an award when they can get a job 10 times to 1. For every black person that gets one job, white people get 10 opportunities. And Oprah Winfrey's down there clapping and standing up and clapping for what? She could have been talking about reparations. She grew up in the South. The people in the South, in her hometown, when she grew up in her home state, they need reparations more than they need to see Golden Globes. Oh, there you go again, Big C, trying to talk about other people. All I'm saying is we take that same power, that same mantra that we have as a beautiful, talented black people. You know it's beautiful because when it's time to get reelected, everybody comes to the black community. They don't stay in the white community. Now they go back to it once they get your vote. They'll go back to the lily white neighborhoods and they'll say, I got a couple black friends. But they don't come to your church every day, every weekend. They only come when it's time to get reelected. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong! And you know it's true because you're only worth your vote. It's like a man that goes by a woman's house when he wants some free sex. And she'll give it to him. He only comes by when he wants something. He don't ever take her out to dinner, don't do nothing with her. Just go by for the sex. And sometimes that's how our community is treated. Just want the sex, just want the vote. Just give me what I want, and I'll be gone! You won't see me unless I get what I want! And that's how a lot of these politicians do it. They only want you when you're in the bedroom. And they only want us when we're in the voting books. Come on, vote for me. I'm gonna be your biggest ally. Well, what, you sign reparations? Oh no, we always get that money to Zelensky. But we're gonna give you a national apology. Are we that simple as a people? You can just apologize without giving us any money? remember, the white ladies down in Hollywood, when they were being sexually assaulted, they filed a lawsuit. And they accused the men that were allegedly the perpetrators. In a court of law, the ones that lost their argument, they had to pay up. Where's the black community? Why aren't they telling us that we can sue? Oh, you can't sue the government? Or you can't? You know, Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Rick Scott of Florida, they reintroduced the Holocaust Survivors Bill back in July of 2023 that you can sue if you're not getting your benefits. And Congress approved it. Oh, you didn't know that because you're too busy watching the game? Was the football game that important? Was the basketball game that important? You didn't notice it? Black vote? Was watching us shucking and jiving on TV so important? We didn't notice that? They took it, they made it a court issue. And President Biden can make executive order, reparations now. Reparations now! Reparations forever! You'll be in the black church again asking for your vote. Asking about reparations. What's your thoughts on reparations? Oh, we believe in studying reparations. Do you believe in studying giving President Zelensky some money, $100 billion? Oh, no, we already gave him his money. So what's different between him and black people? That ancestry worked the ground from 1619 to 1865. Never got paid, no compensation, no life insurance, no health insurance, no investment plan. They got nothing. They worked from cradle to grave. And this white man came over and got $100 billion, and you wanted to give him some more. You ever have somebody give you something and you want some more? I want some more, Eddie! You ever have somebody give you something and it's so good that you want some more? I think Ashley the Simpson had a song called "Is It Still Good to You?" Is it still good to you? How do our black church members feel when a man stands at your pulpit and just gave a white man over $100 billion and then an extra $200 million and gave you nothing? Gave you nothing. And you're just standing up and cheering. Don't make any sense to me. That's why I think they should support California Senator Stephen Bradford. I want to support Council Member Monica Montgomery Steppe. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Senate Member Reverend Jones Sawyer. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. I want to give praise to Dr. Shell Grill. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Attorney Lisa Holder. She's brilliant. I love giving her praise. I want to give praise to Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, professor at California Berkeley. He's brilliant. I love giving him praise. And I want to give praise to Donald K. Tamaki, attorney at law, who's Japanese American, that already got reparations for Japanese Americans being interned in internment camps. And he's on the reparations task force. He's the only one that's gotten paid. He's not African American. And he's pro-reparations. Why aren't they talking to him on television? It's like they found some black folks that say, we're just going to lift up your voice and sing and tell you how pretty your hat is and how well-dressed you are, and that's all you guys need. We're going to sing some Negro hymns. We shall overcome someday. We shall overcome someday. Oh, hold on, someone's knocking on the door. Hold on, someone's knocking. Who is it? It's President Zelensky. Oh yeah, President Zelensky. I'm at the black church right now giving some speeches. What do you want? I want $100 billion. Oh, well, hold on. Let me finish. Let these black folks sing songs, and then I'm going to sign the check to give you $100 billion. He said, okay, I'll wait. He said, what are you going to give the black people? Lift up your voice and sing? They're not asking for any money. They just want me to sing with them. You mean I'm a white man from the Ukraine and I can come here and get $100 billion and some aerial planes, and you in the pulpit of a black church and they don't ask you for any money? President Biden said no. They just want me to sing songs with them. He said, well, call me when you're done singing songs. I need that money now. And we got to have that same mentality. It may seem like satire, but it's true. How do you go to someone's church in the Deep South where slavery was started, or the Civil War was started to end slavery, and you go to that church and get in the pulpit, they give you a nice glass of water. People stand to their attention. They even salute the flag. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. And they're just standing up and singing. Is Zelensky knocking on the door again? Yeah, who is it? It's President Zelensky. What do you want? We're still singing songs. Well, I need something that's really urgent. Can you please talk to me? Well, what do you need? These black folks want me to finish singing to them. He said, I need $100 billion. Well, I already gave you $100 billion. He said, yeah, but we ran out, and I want some more. And these black folks just sit down there singing. It's embarrassing to me. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I got a lot of things I want to thank Double O, Head Committee for the National Black Wall Street Project, sent me Executive Order 13985 that President Biden signed on further, get it right though, further advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. That's the White House. But he gave Zelensky $100 billion. And he went to the black church and they were singing songs, singing hymns. Senator Marco Rubio and Senator Rick Scott of Florida, they reintroduced the bill to Congress to restore Holocaust survivors' rights. They didn't go to the black church and start singing songs. They avoid the black church. They go where things get done. That's in Congress. The black church does not sign bills under legislation. With all due respect, the court of law creates policy, not the black church. They just go there to get us to shuck and jive and sing songs and ask for the vote. And we know that's true. Even the United Nations is pro-reparations. So I got a little egg on my face because I said President Biden, he said he studies he backs the studying of reparations as Congress considers a bill. That bill could have already been signed by executive order. He could do it without Congress. President Abraham Lincoln signed Freedmen's Bank to come into existence. Go back to February 17, 2021. The Associated Press wrote, President Joe Biden's White House is giving its support in studying reparations for black Americans, boosting Democratic lawmakers who are renewing efforts to create a commission on the issue amid the stark racial disparities that were highlighted by the COVID-19 pandemic. A House panel heard testimony Wednesday on legislation that would create a commission to examine the history of slavery in the United States. You know, the same slavery that President Biden talked about in the black church down in Carolina over the weekend, as well as the discriminatory government policies that affect former slaves and their descendants. The commission would recommend ways to educate the American public of its findings and suggest appropriate remedies, including financial payments from the government to compensate descendants of slaves for years of unpaid labor by their ancestors. You hear that? Some praise. Biden backs the idea of studying the issue. White House press secretary at that time, Jen Psaki, said, though she stopped short of saying that he would sign the bill if it clears Congress. You don't need Congress to do anything. It's called executive order. That same pen that you used to sign the crime bill to massively incarcerate black families, that same pen exists. That same hand still works. It's important because President Biden, he captured the Democratic presidential nomination and ultimately the White House with the strong support of black voters as he campaigned against the backdrop of the biggest reckoning in the United States called racism. And he knows Sheila Jackson Lee very well, Democrat of Texas. She has 173 co-sponsors of her bill. It's called H.R. 40. Said the descendants of slaves continue to suffer from the legacy of the brutal system and the enduring racial inequality that it spawned. People know that. So I got a little egg in my face, and I'll admit it. I thought when they were saying that he was going to go to the black church to make a statement, I thought he was going to announce reparations from the same state that slavery in the Civil War began in Carolina. I thought he was going to make that, and I feel like I've been a little bit embarrassed because that's not what he talked about. But the United States government is sanctioned slavery. Sheila Jackson Lee said that, and that what we need as a country is a reckoning, a healing, and reparative justice. That's called reparations. People know that, and President Biden knows it too. Maybe come out to some churches on the West Coast where we're not just wanting to sing hymns, Negro hymns. We shall overcome someday. We shall overcome someday. Hello, who is it? It's President Zelensky. Oh, how can I help you, President Zelensky? I need $100 billion. Well, hold on. The black folks, they still singing, they say overcome someday. Well, they've been singing that since 1619. I need my money now, Mr. President. If you're a black person in the black church, why are you clapping? While you're singing, we shall overcome, the white man said, I need $100 billion, and he got it. He didn't come here and sing. He didn't even want to join and sing with you guys. At some point in time, it has to happen. And it's a seminal moment. The ball's in your hand, but I'm a bit embarrassed because maybe I talk too much sports sometimes. Because I thought he was going to the black church to announce reparations. I really did with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. Because he knows the election's coming up in November. And, you know, he went and gave his first speech in the black church. I thought he was going to say, I'm going to sign a bill for reparations to be in law as we speak. Freedman's Bank, Google it. Freedman's Bank chartered by the United States Congress March 3rd, 1865 to provide a place for slaves to put their money. You got to understand that. You can Google it. You don't got to trust anything I say. The bank, the need for free blacks became evident during this American Civil War. The African-American soldiers in the Union Army were often denied access to conventional banks, and they were often taken advantage of by swindlers who took the money. It was John W. Alford, a congressional minister, and Anson M. Sperry, a United States Army paymaster, individually identified that need and attempted to foster the creation of such an institution in early 1865. Alford's effort culminated in the legislation passed by Congress on March 3rd that incorporated Freedmen's Savings and Trust Company as a nonprofit financial institution. You know what President Abraham Lincoln did? President Abraham Lincoln immediately signed the bill into law. He didn't wait for Congress. And the bank was created. President Biden could do the same thing for reparations. But he's down there singing in the black church. And I don't know why people take our community for granted. But shame on you black pastors and bishops for not saying, are you going to sign reparations in the law the same way President Abraham Lincoln, the executive order, created Freedmen's Bank? Why are we afraid to ask for what the white people asked for? Zelensky came in and asked for $100 billion, and we're asking for songs. I'll get into sports in the next show, but I love sports. It's a billion-dollar industry. Boys and girls sports is a foundation to this billion-dollar industry. And I just hope that more and more we get people like the great Oprah Winfrey, the great Denzel Washington, the great Michael Jordan, the great LeBron James, the great Stephen Curry, all of our great athletes and entertainers, the great Beyonce, the great Jay-Z, the great Ice Cube has talked about reparations. We got to get our entertainers because that's where they like to see us shucking and jiving. What about our great entertainers talking about? Just ask the question, can we at least get what President Zelensky got? And support California Senator Stephen Bradford because he's trying to get his reparations while Oprah's giving out congratulatories at the Golden Globes. Which one are you going to stand behind? Give that some praise. As I always tell you on every Big C Sports Show, if you're going to drink, don't drive. If you're going to drive, don't drink because mothers against drunk drivers are mad. And fathers against drunk drivers, and that is one of the easiest things not to do. You can call Uber, you can call Lyft, you can walk it off, you can sleep it off. But don't let someone you love get behind the wheel of a car after they've been drinking. The life you say may be your own or someone you love. I know it doesn't matter to everybody because there's so many people that drink and drive. But the life you save may be your own or someone you love. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Well, back by popular demand, back in the day, there's a man known by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He's known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, he said, you float like a butterfly and you sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. He said, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Ali said, I'm so pretty, I can't possibly be beat. And every time I listen to Big C Sports, I think, reparations now, reparations forever. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. My beautiful mother always says that's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. If you know any man, woman, or child going through that garbage, simply pick up the phone and call 911. Because people change when the police show up. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage being hit upside your head by some knucklehead. Call 911. But what happens if they take him to jail? That's where he wants to go when he put his hands on you. No one should ever have to put up with that crap. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, as I always tell you, on every Big C Sports show, I thank you, I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a super, fantastic day. Well, hold on, Big C, you forgot to thank President Abraham Lincoln. Oh, that's right. Backed by popular demand, this is the time that we stand like President Biden stood in the black church. And he should have champion what President Abraham Lincoln said when he said, sign reparations now, sign reparations forever. That's it. Like our team just won the game. What did President Abraham Lincoln tell President Biden to do? He said, sign reparations now, sign reparations forever. Come on, say it like your team just won the championship. What should President Biden do the next time he stands in the black church pulpit? Sign reparations now, sign reparations forever. I thank you, I appreciate you, and I hope that you have a super fantastic day.